Timer's ticking. Last chance to hit those likes. Let's get the party started. Yo! Happy Sunday, fellas. Let's jump on into it. Let's get it. Yo! What's going on? Anderson. I see Anderson's already saying, hey ho, it's off to the moon we go. Oh, wait. It took me a second to realize what you were saying. Hey ho, it's off to the moon we go. Yeah, You didn't finish the song, man. You gotta at least put the in the damn chat. Come on, man. What's going on, Skillful? What's going on, bro? We got Blue Egg Fund. We got Rafi said he's 100x long. Rafi's bullish for this week. That's what I like to see. Who else we got here? We got Kennedy saying yo. We got my neighbors saying yo across the street. They're always over here saying yo, man. We got a lot of things to talk about today over here on the charts, but let's first see what you guys are saying in the damn chat first. Crescent moon time. Let's go, baby. I'm excited for a new week. Last week was kind of weird, right? It was the 4th of July week. A lot of people were out doing their thing, eating hot dogs, eating burgers, setting off fireworks, hopefully not blowing their hands up with the damn fireworks. Like people typically do this every single year, like blowing their hands up with fireworks and shit. But, you know, today we're back, and hopefully we're set up with a lot of the big money coming back to start playing in the markets again this week, as last week was pretty boring. Let's get a better week this week in the charts, man. Cole Crypto, he said 420 likes ASAP. Yeah, guys, can we hit 420 likes today? If we can, I don't know. I think that would be pretty sweet. And if there's anything you guys can do to help out the stream, it's always just hitting that damn like button. It helps out like nothing else. Like literally nothing else, man. Especially on a Sunday, man. It's rainy over here. We need some sun. We need some sunlight over here. By the way, Mike asked before the stream started, he asked, what is, shout out to Skull Crusher, man. He just subscribed to the channel. Shout out to you, man. What is the most underrated soda? Before we get started with the stream today, I say Dr. Pepper. I think not enough people like Dr. Pepper, and I think Dr. Pepper is easily the most underrated soda. Hands down, easy, not even a question. All right? I just want to put that out there before we get started. Walter said there are no parties in the Netherlands, bro. Well, I'm sure you guys have a national holiday too, where you guys start going nuts and lighting off fireworks and maybe giving each other gifts like Christmas or something. I don't know. Maybe something like Christmas at the very, very least. Anyways, let's jump on into the stream, man. So Bitcoin still just at the bottom of the range. So like Bitcoin's still in the damn range. I think, you know, once again, what we're looking for this week is, you know, we're just kind of in the same range, right? So it's a lot of the same stuff. It's deciding this week, you know, is Bitcoin going to continue to follow the 2020 fractal, where now it's back up at the top of the range. It's been fighting. We've gone up there twice. We've got rejected twice. We've came back to the lows twice. We bounced off support twice. So who's going to win this next damn thing? Is it going to be the bulls or is it going to be the bears who win this next battle up here at resistance? That's what hopefully we'll find out this week. I think that's what we all want to see. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you just want some resolution out of this damn freaking range. And I think we all do. But that's okay. So we're waiting to see, okay, is this 2020 play going to play out where we're just kind of, you know, consolidating in here before that next leg up to the upside? Or are we going to play out something more like 2015, 2016, where we basically came back up to the highs? We kind of consolidated here for a little bit. And we actually saw one more flush down before then starting to push back above those highs. And it was more of a grueling summer where we kind of had to chisel our way. Kind of like how Anderson said, yo ho, we chisel the resistance we go. Kind of like how Anderson said earlier, but, you know, option number one, option number two. Either way, like I said, I would say this, I'm looking to buy some BTC if we pull back into 28.5, 29K. If not, I'm ready to get this freaking move going, bro. You know, I'm saying this, I'm sitting at the charts I honestly tried to even not to look at the charts this weekend. I looked a few times and I was like, bruh. This is what we got going on this weekend. This is what we got going on. Yo, shout out to hashtag more money coming in with the super chat. He said price potential XRP XLM 300X. I don't know about a 300X, man. I think that's a little bit too optimistic. I always say this, when you're looking for like a price prediction, always start conservative. If you're looking for a 300X on the crypto that's already the number 3 crypto in the space, I think you're shooting a little bit too high, man. You know, listen, if XRP did a 300X, I'm sure everything would go to the moon. It would be freaking awesome for the whole crypto space. I just don't know if you're going to see a 300X on XRP. I think, what's XRP at right now? What, freaking 40 cents or something like that? I think a more logical and just kind of what we've typically seen for cryptos, I would say that I wouldn't be surprised. If XRP can get out of this whole SEC thing, I would not be surprised to see it somewhere in the $5 to $10 range. I would say that, but you know, 300X, I think that's a little bit of moon boy. Even coming from maybe a moon boy, right? That's a little bit moon boyish, my man. But I still like XRP. I'm holding XRP, and I'm hoping for some type of resolution from the stupid SEC thing soon, man. Like, god damn, man. Shit. All right, so that's what we got for the Bitcoin chart. I still think like there is still bearish divergence on the daily, right? We had some higher highs on the daily chart. We had some lower highs on you know, Market Cipher over here. So there is some still bearish divergence on the daily. There is still, we kind of played out the 12-hour bearish divergence in here already, right? Where we had lower highs, we had higher highs. We kind of played this out. The question is, you know, is that all we need to do, right? Is from that bearish divergence, is a 6% move enough? That's the question, right? And we'll find out this week. I've sort of said this in this range. I'm not in the business of trying to predict this short-term price action because you're just going to chop yourself out. Like, just wait for the break, wait for whatever happens, right? And you're better off just freaking waiting because this is just going to chop you to oblivion in here, right? Long the lows, short the highs if you want to. I ain't looking to short Bitcoin here. But if you want to long the lows of the range, right? Short the highs of the range. Really, that's really all you can do at this current moment. Other than that, you're kind of just gambling in the middle of the range. So that's what we got for the corn. I would say I'm excited for this week, though. I thought last week would have been the week, right? just because it was like one of those wacky weeks where it was like a whole holiday week. Maybe they pump it while everyone's on vacation and leave everyone in the dust. But they didn't do that. So maybe this week will be the week where we can start playing. And we can go to the mother effing moon. Let's get off that for now. Let's get off it for now, man. We had to bring it out, man. We had to bring it out. Holy moly. Let's see. No sound in space. Oh Lord. Anyways, guys. Anyways. Roasted Garlic Berry said he's shorting this shit. Go for it, man. Go for it. And I hope you get a nice little wick to the downside and we can all make some money, man. Because at the end of the day, we're all here for the same reason, I guess. C said, I don't know who's trading with leverage, but rule number 1, no lev. Some people are successful with leverage. I think for most people are probably better with no leverage, right? Most people are better off just starting with spot, buying low with spot, selling high with spot, and just going with that strategy. That's for the average person, you're better off not using leverage. For sure. And I even think some people who are good traders might be better off not using leverage too. Just because leverage makes you make different decisions rather than if you're just like holding spot, right? Anyways, that's besides the point. By the way, what do we got in here? Let's see. Everyone and their mom thinks we're going to 40K. I don't know if I believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think everyone and your mom thinks we're going to 40K. I don't believe that at all. Not at all. Maybe we do I always say this. Maybe we do in our little crypto bubble, but you got to understand, guys, we're like 0.11, we're like 0.01% of the population. You got to understand that, right? What does the other 99.9% of the population think about crypto? You know what I'm saying? They're not even looking at it, man, you know? So like, okay, in our little crypto bubble, okay, maybe we think it goes to 40K, but you got to understand, like, we're such a small bubble of the population. You know what I'm saying? If the other 99% of the people in the world are bearish on crypto, then that means that not everyone thinks we're going to 40K, right? So just remember that. Just remember that. Your audio cut out with the spacesuit on. Did you know? It did? Oh shit! We got to update the audio with the spacesuit, man. I didn't even know it did that, man. Shout out to Envy, man. I got to fix the spacesuit scene there. Why did the audio cut out, man? Oh man, I can't wait to play the spacesuit scene fully though. Anyways, so that's Bitcoin. Still just kind of consolidating here. I mean, there's not really much else to say. We go out to the weekly, right? Weekly, I guess you could argue there's some bearish div on the weekly as well. We made higher highs, but there's also lower highs coming in on the cipher here. So there's kind of bearish divergences on most time frames. My question is, I want to see what next week holds. I think next week will be kind of confirmation on whether that kind of plays out for maybe a deeper pullback to the downside, or if we're going to continue higher, right? Let's see if this next week folds. We are getting a red week this week, it looks like, unless we get some like crazy pump in the next 49 minutes. I'm going to assume that we're going to close the weekly somewhere like this. You never really know, so as always, we're going to wait for the daily close. But this is kind of what the weekly looks like. You kind of like just swung fail the highs again, and then you get a little bit of a pullback. At the end of the day, I think there's not really too much to take from this just yet. I think it's important that we see what next week candle looks like. If we see some continuation to the downside, and we kind of close with like another red candle, then it's going to look a little bit iffy, I think. So that's kind of the weekly. It's kind of just a kind of another indecision candle at the highs, I would say. It's not like this, oh my god, it's over type of candle, and it's also not like, Oh my God, this looks super bullish type candle. It's just like that candle. That's interesting. You are gonna close still above these lows though, right? So like these 2021 lows, these 2020 wicks, all these lows, and also these lows back from like 2022. We are gonna close above there still, right? So you're kind of still back above this range, right? You're not really closing below this green box. I think this green box is going to be the one that we're really gonna want to hold going forward, right? This green box right here, which is like basically 29K. Holding above there, I think, is the most important thing for us to do on a weekly close for these next couple weeks, right? As we are kind of like back in this old 2021 range, you know what I'm saying? So as long as we stay above here and here and here, we're still kind of back in this range. It's kind of just like a breakout, a retest, and now we're going to see if we can kind of continue higher these next few weeks. So that's what we got for the corn of the weekly. It's not like the most exciting weekly candle, man. it's definitely not. It's definitely not the most exciting weekly candle. And then we go over to this chart. And at the end of the day, guys, I mean, we're still above the 50 moving average, right? So there's no reason to be like overly bearish. And I've said this the whole year, right? As people kind of keep calling for lower, every single red candle we get on the weekly, it's like, as long as Bitcoin stays above the 50 moving average, it's still bullish on the high term time frame. So that's how I'm looking at it. In the past for Bitcoin, whenever we've gotten back above that 50 moving average, we've seen some pretty nice gains from that point, right? So from October 2015, we get back above the 50. We've seen a nice move up. You know, back over here, April 2019, we get back above the 50 moving average. We saw some pretty nice gains to the upside. And now we just recently got back above it, not too long ago in March. And we've only seen a little bit of upside at this point. And we know we typically at this point go to the retracement levels, which are in the 40Ks. And that's why I still believe we're going to the 40Ks this year. Despite that, you know, from the beginning of the year not being the most popular opinion, I've kind of stood by that the whole year. And at this point, we've just seen pretty much upside for Bitcoin. It's been slow, but we have seen upside. There's no reason to be overly bearish about this chart at all, really. So that's the corn, man. That is the corn. And the corn on the cob is in an uptrend. As much as the bears don't want to admit it, it is in an uptrend. Okay? And we will continue to fight in the uptrend. Let's see. BTC is institutional now. Dan said it's institutional. Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Dan the man. Dan the man is the absolute stud. Stud, man. Bored David said, I'm so bored. That's the crypto market right now, man. But as you know, a lot of the boring times, we've said this like multiple times this year, a lot of times these long, drawn-out, boring periods actually end up being the predecessors to massive moves. And we've said it, we've seen it multiple times on this run-up, right? Boring sideways for a few months, massive move, right? Boring sideways for a few months, massive move. Boring sideways for a few months, massive move. So we've seen this multiple times. It's just getting through the boring parts, and if you don't go through the boring parts, you will not go through the exciting parts. And that's always the big thing with crypto, man. Most of the times it's boring. It's a very small amount of time that is fun, right? And the problem is most people wait for that time to be fun. And if you wait for that time to be fun, it's too late at that point. At that point, you're just buying the highs, most likely, because the fun part doesn't last that long. Like the real fun part where things are just up only. That's usually like a 6-month period. And the problem is, until when retail finally realizes it's that 6-month period, it's way too late. It's way too late, and you end up buying the highs. Let's see. Let's get it, bros. Let's go, Dave. Anderson, so let's get that ETA. ETH. I mean, there's not really much to say about Ethereum either, man. Let's go check out Ethereum. So this is Ethereum on the weekly. Ethereum on the weekly is still above the 50s, right? I mean, this teal moving average is the 50 moving average. So as long as we stay above there, it's all good too. So, I mean, Ethereum, it's just range bound, right? It's kind of the same shit. It's just we sort of had a pullback. We dipped below the 50, right? We basically retested these highs back over here from February. We got to move up. And now it looks like we might just be coming back down to retest that 50 again. So really, it's kind of the same deal, man. It's just it's just going sideways and just kind of having patience for the real move and not like switching your bias every day because you're in a green candle or red candle. You're really just doing nothing, right? And all I usually see on social media is one day everyone's bullish and one day everyone's bearish. But despite like a month of nothingness, there's no point in switching bias. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of the same stuff. Ethereum still above the 50. We're just having patience for that next leg up, which eventually I do think we see Ethereum at 26,500. 2650. And do I have it on this chart? Let me see. No, we don't have it on this chart. No, we don't have it on this chart. Hold on, let me bring up this down here. I think the most exciting thing for a lot of these cryptos is we basically have the weekly money flow, which is starting to flip over. And we've talked about this for Bitcoin. We've talked about this for total market cap. We've only seen this a few times. Actually, we've only seen this one time for Ethereum. Okay, we saw this uno time for Ethereum. Basically, because Ethereum hasn't been around for that long, actually. We saw this right here, right? Back in January of 2020. We saw money flow flip over on the weekly right here back in January of 2020. And that was as Ethereum was actually breaking up. Now, once again, we did have COVID, and COVID made us go back down to the lows. But I think you got to kind of ignore that COVID price action, because unless you think we're gonna have another COVID, which I don't think you want that. You don't want to think we're gonna have another COVID, man. Like, you don't want that. You got to kind of ignore that price action, right? Because you kind of just went up, right? And I believe if COVID never happened, you would have just kind of been slow, more consolidating move up to the upside instead of that just massive money printing era, right? So that's the last time ETH money flow flipped, and we kind of had that happen right over here, and it looks like we're going to have that happen again right here. And you saw what happened after that happened that time. So it's just a patient game for Ethereum, man. You know, it's not it's not like overly bearish, it's not overly bullish, it's just waiting at this point, right? And just kind of waiting for Bitcoin's next move. That's what all crypto's doing at the end of the day. Man, nice. Dan said sideways until the move. Exactly. Exactly, bro. Exactly, man. Let me see. Let me see what you guys are saying in here. Let me go back up. Hold up. Mike said something. What did Mike say? Oh, I can't show it on the damn screen? What the hell, bro? I can't see it on the damn screen. You gotta be kidding me. All right. What did Mike say? Mike said, Jordan, you find any more coins at the third low? No, I mean, pretty much everything's at the third low. That's the thing, right? So with the altcoins, I'm just looking at the altcoins all as one bunch, right? So like, I'm looking at altcoins as total 3 minus USDT minus USDC, which basically gives you the whole crypto altcoin market, right? All in one. Minus the stable coins to get rid of some of that, just unneedingness in there. So basically, I'm just looking at like this. And there is many ones that I said I liked recently, right? So Solana, Matic, and plus the ones that already kind of broke out, right? We saw BCH, Litecoin, XRP, what was some other ones? Link's already kind of back, kind of far from its lows at this point. But there's many of them. I think AVAX is an interesting one too. AVAX is one that is very, very interesting, I think. I'd like to get it so typically with these Wyckoffs, you do see one more little push to the downside, right? So I wouldn't be surprised to actually see a little bit of consolidation at the lows for the altcoins, right? Don't expect moonshot. But as always, I think this is the time where you got to start researching and getting the ones you like, right? Yeah, but AVAX, we have the 1, 2, 3. We spiked that low right here, right? 1, 2, 3. We spiked that second low, right? And typically, what you see in Wyckoff now is you see this retest, right? And you kind of just slowly work your way back up to the top of the range. And I think that's what you're going to see for most of the stuff over the course of the next few months. It's not going to be today. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's not going to be the day after tomorrow. It's not going to be next week. It's probably not even going to be next month. You know what I mean? But I think we're going to kind of work our way in that little low down there, which is very, very nice. Very, very nice. By the way, guys, I was watching some documentaries and shit on like AI, and I'm kind of scared of AI now. I'm kind of scared of AI, guys. I have to let you know this. AI is gonna take over the world. I'm dead serious. It is. Actually, I'm not going to get into this yet. We'll talk about this later. AI will destroy us all, and it's coming. It's coming. I just felt like I'd let you know. So let's make some money in the crypto bull market. Enjoy our lives before we get destroyed by AI. Right? Let's do that shit. Let's see. Would I rather smoke a joint or drink liquor? I mean, I guess it kind of depends on what you're doing, I guess. Right? If you're just trying to chill out, probably smoke a joint. But if you're trying to have some fun, maybe dance a little bit, maybe you're hanging out with people, probably drink. It just depends. It depends on the situation. You know what I mean? It depends on the situation, bro. We will all be slaves to dude. We are going to be slaves to machines. I'm telling you right now, fellas. Who said that? Rafi? Who said that? I think Rafi said that, man. Hold on. Yeah, we will be slaves to machines. Let me get rid of this chat, man. This is annoying, huh? Let's get rid of that. We will all be slaves to machines one day. We will. We will be the slaves to machines. I think it's going to be very, very soon. I think it's within the next 10 years. We will be. We're basically going to create something that's too smart, and we're not going to be able to control it. I know that sounds crazy and like doomsday-ish, but it's coming, fellas. It's coming, fellas. Jordanzo afraid of poor AI. I am. Not at this very moment, but it's coming, man. Let's see. Rage Against the Machines. It's not going to be like Terminator though. Like everyone thinks like, oh my god, these robots are going to be running around with lasers in their eyes and killing us. No, they don't. Like they don't even have to do that. That's the thing. They don't even have to do that. They can basically just make it so we can't use any of our technology. We get sent back to the Stone Age and we end up killing each other. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of the scary part about AI is that they can just come after us, man. Anyways, we'll talk about this again in a little bit. We could talk about the end of the world and the AI times in a little bit, which is always one of the more fun things to do. I'm drinking some coffee here, guys, by the way. In Vitalik we trust, as always. In Vitalik we trust. Bass said, pansy-ass robot, fight me. The thing is, with robots, you can't fight them, though, because basically a robot will be able to think. It will be able to think like a million times as fast as you can. So like if you're about to go throw a punch or like do some crazy like maybe like do a karate chop on a robot, right? What's going to end up happening is that robot is going to be able to think ahead of you and just like block you because it can just think so much faster than you can. So you're basically just screwed. But that's besides the point. Anyways. So we talked about Bitcoin, we talked about Total 3, we talked about Ethereum. I think Total is kind of the chart that I'm watching the most carefully here. Is like we really need to get back above this 1.18 trillion level here because we kind of got a little bit of a squeeze going on where we got the 50 moving average kind of coming up here and we got this resistance, man. It's been annoying here. This August high and then we basically have this June high coming in here. We got the swing fail up here. So we're kind of been struggling with this level on Total, right? So Total, man, it's like we're going to get squeezed in here. What's the next move for Total? Once again, patience. No one's going to, like, everyone's going to guess on what's going to happen next. You just got to have patience at this point and sort of wait it out. But that's kind of Total, man. It's like if we get back above 1.18 trillion on a weekly close, it's going to look fantastico. Absolutely fantastic for the crypto market. It's just we're kind of just chipping away there, chipping away, and trying to find like how many sellers we can sort of exhaust here before we can break up here. But there's a lot of sellers, man. There's a lot of people taking profits. In my opinion, I think they're selling a little bit too early. That's just my opinion, but everyone's got their own opinion. As always in the crypto market. So that's what we got. I think the most interesting thing going into this week, though, outside of the crypto markets, is how are the stock markets going to do this week, right? They've been kind of hitting a little bit of resistance up here at like March highs. Like you got the NASDAQ at these March highs. Are they going to get a pullback, and how will that affect crypto. At the end of the day, though, the trend's still bullish. What I don't want everyone to do is, okay, even if the NASDAQ starts pulling back, I'm looking at this from a macro perspective, guys. I've sort of said this. I don't give a shit about the 4-hour time frames anymore. Like, I don't care about that stuff anymore. I think it's time where you have to start looking big picture and really what you want to do overall for the next 1 to 2 years in the markets, not what you're going to do on a 4-hour time frame. You know what I mean? So what I don't want to happen is the NASDAQ, you know, even if it gets a little bit of a pullback, I don't want everyone to be like, oh my God, bear market's continuing, because no, it's not a bear market, man. I mean, look at the freaking NASDAQ, bro. It's not a bear market, right? And I think everyone's kind of stuck in that bear market mentality when it's not a bear market, bro. Like, it's not. Like, look at this chart, bro. Like, that's not what a bear market does. But you get the NASDAQ coming up here. Question is going to continue a pullback this week. It would make sense, right? I mean, you're at these March highs, right? So a pullback is okay. And the thing I can't stand is when something gets a pullback and then you got basically people calling for lower lows. And it's like, bro, what the frick, man? Like, look at this chart. Like, come on, man. They'll be calling for lower lows. And then you got basically the S&P, which is also up here. I mean, it's actually the S&P is up at this August 2021 high pretty much. So the question is, will stocks get a pullback? How will that will affect crypto? Or are they just going to moonshot this week? And I'll tell you guys what I think in a second. And then the dollar. The dollar is the fun one, man. The dollar is the fun one, man, because the dollar got pounced on Friday. It got smacked. It got absolutely smacked on the Friday close, baby. Smacked on that Friday close, the dollar did, right? So the question is, now you're kind of at the support for the dollar, right? You're kind of getting squeezed in here, man. Are we going to see the dollar start pushing lower into this week, right? And that's what we got to ask ourselves, because the dollar pushes lower, that is going to help out the cryptos, man. It's going to help out the cryptos very, very, very much. So let's watch the dollar. I do believe the dollar is going lower, me personally, and because I think the CPI that is this week on Wednesday is going to come in very, very good. I think it's going to come into the low threes, and that's going to surprise a lot of people who think that inflation is sticky, because it's not. So I personally think this week is going to be a good week for markets. I know overall we're kind of on edge because like the dollar's at support and we kind of got like the stock market's at resistance and we kind of got like Bitcoin at resistance. So everyone's kind of on edge, right? I think it's going to be a good week for markets because I think CPI is going to be good this week. And I also think that the dollar, which it kind of just keeps making lower highs in here, I think it's due for a move down. I don't know how many more times I can flush up to this resistance and not break to the downside. So, excuse me. Oh, man, you gotta love coffee, man. I've had 5 cups of coffee today. Like, I am gassed. I am gassed up today. I am gassed up today, bro. Oh, man. Let's go. Let's see. CPI. The CPI. That's why I look at Trueflation, man. I respect Trueflation more than I do the Fed numbers. You know what I mean? I actually listen to Trueflation more than the Fed numbers, man. I think the Fed lies about their numbers. I personally think the Fed lies about their numbers. You know what I'm saying? Kafifi. Beth, you love Kafifi. Are you an energy drink guy? I know some of you guys like energy drinks more than coffee. I gotta say though, I'm a coffee guy for sure. Energy drinks, I can't have them too much. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack every time I have an energy drink. You know what I mean? Like, there was this one time, like I told you guys, I used to take some pre-workout before the gym, and man, like it used to turn me red. I used to take it, and I used to get to the gym, and my arms were turning red, my face was turning red, and then one of these times, bro, I took some of that pre-workout, and I just felt like shit, right? I felt like something was wrong. So to this day, I can't do the pre-workout / energy drinks anymore, man. Like they freak me out because they get me way too wired. Maybe it was just a bad experience with one pre-workout. I don't know. But to this day, I have to stick to the coffee, man. Like I am definitely a coffee guy, and I just love the taste of coffee, man. There's just nothing better than a drink of coffee throughout the day, you know? Let's see. Dave Diddle, so I respect Pepe holders, man. Nice. Hey, man, I bought some Pepe at my white box. I bought some Pepe at my white box, man. You know what I mean? Man. Let's go. All right. Let's hang out in the chat for a little bit and see what you guys are saying in here. Your face looks a little red now. Oh, dude, it's hot as shit. It's hot as shit. I don't mind it being hot as shit, actually, today. Let's see. There was this one time in band camp. I don't want to know what happened, Captain FOMO Huddle. I don't want to know what happened to you, bro. Bat just puts caffeine in his weed. Can you do that? That's got to be actually a thing where you can probably put caffeine in your weed and you can just get high and hyped at the same time. Which is basically like just drinking alcohol and smoking weed at the same time. You know what I mean? It's pretty much the equivalent of that. Pepe 3.0. I saw Pepe 2.0 went off. You know, Pepe 2.0 was definitely a thing. Dave said, my white box is sexy. Oh, God. What, my white box for Pepe? He said, my white box is sexy. My white box for Pepe was, let me see the white box for Pepe, man. Let's see. Pepe. I mean, most of the altcoins we've been talking about recently have done pretty well from the entry points. The daily, the Pepe white box was right here, actually. I think it was right here, man. Right at these daily lows. We were saying right in there was a good point to pick up Pepe, and Pepe literally went right into the box and got a nice bounce. So that was good. I'm sitting pretty comfy in my Pepe, man. I'm sitting pretty comfy in my Pepe, you know. So that was a really, really good one. And I think there's so, like, dude, there's not, like, to me, there's not even really a point to be talking about individual altcoins, because I just think a lot of them are at interesting points. I think a lot of them are at interesting points. Now, short term, okay, Bitcoin could get a pullback and they can go down another 5-10%. Okay, kind of like we've been talking about with Total 3. You know, like they could become. Let me get this off here. There we go. Let me get this off here. There we go. But like just like Total 3, like you could still get one more retest of the lows. That's fine. I just think there's so many interesting levels already, man. Like SHIB's an interesting one too. We've talked about SHIB a few times, and I think SHIB's actually a very interesting chart. This one is interesting. We talked about the similarities to SHIB of 2021 before it had a push to the upside, and SHIB's just got that beautiful structure in here. Like this is a beautiful structure here for SHIB. And I'm not a big dog guy fan. Like I'm not the guy who's getting hyped over the dog coins really anymore. But if we're just going strictly off the charts, I'm more of a frog guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a frog guy myself. But if you're just going strictly based off the charts, I mean, you have what you look for, right? You have 1, 2, break of the lows, and look what not Pepe. I'm so obsessed with Pepe. SHIB's looking to get back into the range. You know, and if SHIB gets back above these previous lows, you got a nice setup here on SHIB, man. You know, and I think you have so many of these setups across the altcoin market. It's kind of ridiculous how many of these setups you have across the altcoin market. You just need to see them play out now. We've already seen some of them play out, right? We've seen Bitcoin Cash play out. We've seen Litecoin play out. We've seen even FTT play out. A lot of the most hated coins already played out, but. You know, it's set up, it's there, it's your classic Wyckoff accumulation in here. You just need to see the rise up to the upside now. What's some other ones? I think, I mean, you could just go across the whole market, man. You got Atom kind of at the same sort of setup. You got 1 low, 2 lows, slow move down, capitulation, and I think you're just kind of forming this range down here, man. You know, this one's not as clear cut, but it's kind of the same thing, right? Year-long bear market, consolidation range. You've hit 1, 2, 3 lows. Now you're just kind of, I think you're just kind of wary in here, man. Wary in here. And this is when most people leave, man. This is when most people leave the crypto market. This is when most people give up and leave because they don't think it's ever going to move. It's like these next few months where most people dip. It's not during the I've always said this, man. It's not during the downside, okay? When do most people leave?
Bruh.
When do most people leave? it's during this bottom phase where it's just horrible. It's crappy. It's brutal. You're about 9 months from the halving at this point, where you sort of, nothing ever looks like it's going to go up again. This is where most people dip. Like I said, not during the down phase, because at least at that point you sort of have some hope that it's going to bounce. But it's during this long, grueling sideways period in here where it's just horrible. It's never going to get better, and you dip, and then when people come back, it's usually when everything is already back all the way up here, and at that point it's too freaking late. You're buying the top, and it happens consistently. It's going to happen again, because fear is always in the market, and greed's always in the market, man. Fear and greed never leave. You got to realize that fear and greed are programmed into human nature. They always come back. So right now is a fearful time. Greed will come back. Greed always comes back, man, because people want to make money. You know what I mean? And as soon as people see green candles, that's when they're going to want to get in the crypto market, and that's what pushes it higher. Let's see. Psycho Pearl said, don't forget it's just a bear market rally. Oh my God, Psycho Pearl. Don't be hyping up the bears, man. Shout out to Psycho Pearl, man. Thanks for the super chat, bro. Appreciate that, my man. He said, don't forget it's just a bear market rally, Jordan. Psycho Pearl, one of the biggest fake bears in the chat. He's the homie, man. He's the homie. I love the Joker face, man. I hope that's not you. Don't be turning to the Joker, Psycho Pearl. Don't be doing that, my man. Listen, it's not a bear market rally, man. At this point, if you believe in the 4-year cycles and whatever you want to do, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. But yeah, shout out to Psycho Pro, bro. the biggest fake bear in the chat. Mike said I actually picked up some Shiba. Nice, Mike. Nice, Mike. Listen, I could go through multiple charts that I like. I just think that I personally just think that it's better just to look at total 3 and look at the whole market and all together, and then put your thing together and say, okay, I think all altcoins are in the same boat, because they all move together at the end of the day. I just think it's been so long since you've seen that type of market where people don't think that's possible, right? People don't think like the altcoin market can go up anymore. And I think we're almost at that point. I don't know. I don't think we're at it yet. I think we got a little bit ways to go. I want to see dominance get a little bit higher first, right? So if we can get dominance to get up to, I really want to see it get up to like 57%, man. If we could see dominance get back up to this 57%, like up here at the screen box, we're almost there, man. Like, like we're getting there. Like we are slowly creeped up here for dominance. We are so close to getting up to that 57% level. To me, it just needs like that one last Bitcoin push, right? You get Bitcoin to 40Ks, dominance will be up. Dominance will go to this 57% level. Once you're in this green box, I think that's the point where you might start seeing, you might get a little M formation, eventually start to move your way back down on dominance in there, right? Something like that. But we're almost there, man. I just think we need a little bit higher on there to go, Anyways, when total crypto market cap ETF. Seriously, man. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? That would be freaking sweet. Alien said, I'm a SHIB billionaire. Nice, dude. I am not a SHIB billionaire. I don't even know, actually. Am I a Pepe billionaire? Maybe. Actually, no. I don't even know how much money it would take. I'm sure it's not that much to be a Pepe billionaire. You probably need like $50 a Pepe. You know what I mean? Oh, man. Anderson said, tell him his hair looks nice. My hair does look pretty nice, doesn't it? My hair looks very, very nice. Let's see. Pepe 2. Anderson said that would start the bully rally. How's everyone feeling today, though? Man, it's Sunday. I feel like there's kind of a bearish vibe in here today. Even though like nothing really happened over the weekend. I feel like Friday was like kind of a bullish vibe, and I feel like today's kind of a bearish vibe. It's so funny how like things change over the weekend, even though you've just gone sideways. If anything, we're kind of just consolidating at the range lows, and if anything, that's a good thing. How's everyone feeling today, though? How's everyone feeling today, man? I'm feeling good. I'm not even bored, man. Listen, I don't even think there's a point where you can be bored right now. I think this is the most exciting time in the crypto market, right? I think this is the most exciting time in the crypto market where you can sit down, where I think you got everything close to their lows, if not already at their, or they already hit their lows, right? And you can really dig deep and see what you want to get into. Now, like I said, they still might go lower because Bitcoin might get a little pullback here, in my opinion, right? Still possible Bitcoin can get a pullback in here. But I think this is the most exciting time in crypto, and honestly, like, well, I think most peeps will be looking back at this time and saying, "Shit, bro! Like, why wasn't I not more excited about crypto during this time?" You know? So I think it's seriously an exciting time, dude. And this is really like where it's cool looking into some of the charts and just seeing the things that are like where you are in the charts, man. Woods of Water said, "I'm feeling pretty good." Woods of Water said, "I'm getting drunk." Nice, dude. He's getting drunk. He's getting drunk on the Sunday night. I drank a little bit yesterday. I didn't drink too much, though. I've been kind of tired this weekend. I don't know why. I think it was just last week, man. Last week, like, I went on a bender during the 4th of July week, bro. You know? Absolute bender. So I'm still kind of recovering from the bender week. Like, I didn't go 4 Loko bender, but, like, we went on a slight bender. That's for sure. Walter said, "Boring has never been so exciting." Facts. Facts, bro. Amrit said next bull market layer 2s will dominate. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. I think Arbitrum, OP, I think Matic will do well as well. Right? I mean, those ones like those are just dominating the TVL in the market, bro. So I agree. I agree for sure. BNB short to $40. How's BNB doing, man? I know there's a lot of like scare in BNB, like, oh my god, BNB. Let's go look at BNB. BNB, because I know that's one of the things that that's like one of the things that as like that's like if this didn't exist, like I don't think there would be much like to be worried about. This is kind of like the one thing that is slightly worrisome in the market. Like I would, this is like the one thing I agree with the bears. Like this is the one thing that's slightly worrisome. It's just Binance coming back down to these lows and kind of just consolidating at these lows. And we sort of said this, like we're gonna need Bitcoin to sort of pick its move up here to get Binance to bounce from this low. Right, because it is at this low that it's been at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times in here, and you're just consolidating in it. So, and the question is, I think everyone has right now, is what happens if BNB breaks this box and starts moving back down here? Like, what happens at that point? Does the CZ have to sell off Bitcoin to hold up the BNB price? Right, from it just absolutely cratering down like FTT, you know what I mean? I think that's the one thing that's a little bit worrisome in the market. I would definitely agree with that. And you know, we've talked about this before, and you know, the one thing that we can say is we've seen this before on BNB. Like this is not anything new. We've seen this price action twice before on BNB. Right, where we had this same structure back here in 2018, 2019, and we actually broke to the downside, but then ended up recovering later on, right? So like we ended up breaking down from this range, massive move down. This was like 50% move down, right? Before eventually coming back into the range and coming back up, right? And we sort of talk about this, like, we'll see, we're at support. Like I don't want to be the guy who's spreading Binance FUD. I think that's not very useful. If it happens, it happens, right? But from here, like a 50% drop that happened again would get it to like 112. You know, so we have seen it before. I don't think it's anything we haven't seen before, but it is something we got to keep an eye on. That's for sure. That's sort of the one thing that the bears have up their sleeve is like Binance is gonna break that support, bro. We'll see. Rod said, "RiskReward, why hold an exchange coin?" I definitely agree with that. I think for me, I don't hold any BNB, and it's for multiple reasons. One, it's a centralized exchange coin. You know what I mean? Like, its only use is for that centralized exchange, and number two, like I don't know. I feel I generally agree, Rod. I think the risk reward in general is to hold something else. At the end of the day, I would generally agree. I would definitely agree, actually. Not even a question, actually. Let's see. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Andrew said, went for a tour in Tesla today. Better than I ever thought. Loading up on Tesla next pullback big time. Nice, dude. Yeah, man, if Tesla gets a bigger pullback, I'll be adding for sure. I'll be adding some Tesla. It's just, you're sort of in that limbo phase where it's like, are you going to get a pullback? Are you going to keep going up? So the whole market's wondering right now. Yo, Rules Crypto, what's up, bro? He said, yo. Just straight up, yo. What's going on, buddy? Hope everything's good with you. Coinbase stock been doing pretty well. Yeah, man. And I think Coinbase stock will do well. Dude, Coinbase stock will do extremely well. If these ETFs get approved, Coinbase stock will go nuts because they're all using Coinbase. So Coinbase stock is an interesting one. I think it would still probably be better just holding Bitcoin, but I think Coinbase stock would do very well in that case, because they're all listing Coinbase as their sort of exchange's choice, you know. So that's an interesting play. I think you're getting hype on Coinbase because of that, you know. Let's see. Crypto King said Bitcoin Cash is doing great. Yeah, it's in a nice uptrend, man. It's getting a pullback. I mean, it went up like 300% in a week, so it's due for a pullback. Gen X said a BNB dump would be a catalyst for 58% BTC dominance. Yeah, that is true. That is definitely true. I don't even think you need that, though. I think you just need, basically, what would get dominance to 57% is just Bitcoin going on another tear, right? If Bitcoin goes on another tear to the upside in the 40K regions, that's going to get dominance up to 57%. I honestly, you don't even need BNB, anything to happen at BNB. Though that would be a catalyst that would definitely help. I don't even know if that would help though, you know, in a way, because then they would be selling off their Bitcoin to sort of hold up their own coin price. That it might even just balance each other out, you know. Let's see. What do I think of Filecoin? It's fine. I think Filecoin's fine. Let me see. Yeah, I mean Filecoin. I mean look where it is. Look where it is. You're all the way back down. Look you're all the way back down to the range low. This is you're at 2018, 2019, 2020 lows, right? So my take is dude, the risk reward here is to the upside. To be honest, I wouldn't even take anyone seriously if they're gonna tell me that the risk is to the downside at this point. You know what I mean? You're at the previous bear market lows. You know what I mean? Back to $4. Don't even worry about where it came from, really, right? I think that's besides the point. But you're basically all the way back down here, man. You know, the risk rewards to the upside at this point, and this is a huge support. Short term, short term probably comes back down to test the lows again, right? Most likely at some point, but this region is a fantastic area to accumulate, right? Risk rewards to the upside there. I think, you know, it's let's short something that's already down 99%. That's good. That's good. But at the end of the day, once again, if you're looking to buy near the lows, at some point you gotta grow. I always like to say this. At some point you gotta grow some balls. And I think if there's any point to take a shot, it's when you're literally back down at 2018, 2019, 2020 levels, something crazy like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, YGT. I think the chart looks good from a risk reward perspective. You know. Crypto King, what's going on, bro? Thanks for the super chat, man. He said He's coming in with the super chat. Shout out to you, man.
Strap up. We're going to the moon.
He said, can you please show the weekly ribbons for Bitcoin? Are we talking about the EMA ribbons? Let's do the EMA ribbons, man. I haven't looked at the EMA ribbons in a while. At least I hope we're talking about the EMA ribbons. EMA ribbon. Let's see. There we go. There's the weekly EMA ribbon. So, it's pretty much like, the EMA ribbon is pretty much like looking at the 50 moving average band. That's pretty much what it is. So it's basically the same thing I look at. And historically, when Bitcoin's above the EMA ribbon, it is better to be in Bitcoin than out of Bitcoin when it recently gets back above the EMA ribbon, right? So like back down here in 2011, you get back above it, right? You come and test it again, and then it's up only, right? Right here, back in 2015, you get back above it, you come back and test it. After that point, it's up only. 2019 was a little bit different because once again, you had COVID. It's like COVID just kind of threw everyone's perceptions, I think, of crypto, right? I think everyone's like, oh my God, it has to test the bottom again because it did in 2019. But it only did that because of COVID, man. You know? It's like, once again, you get back above it. You eventually came down and tested it. But obviously you came back below it because of COVID. But if you didn't have COVID, right, you probably would have just slowly started to creep up, right? And that's how I'm kind of looking at the market right now is because you don't have COVID, you don't have money printing, it's probably not going to be this like straight line up, but more of just a slow, steady move to the upside, right? So it's the same point, right? We're above the EMA ribbons after a year long below it. Historically, it's better at this point, it's better to be in Bitcoin than be out of Bitcoin. And that's just a fact looking at the chart. That's not just making stuff up. That's just the fact on the charts. Facts, right? Not feelings. We don't invest based off feelings. We invest based off facts, right? Facts. That's what we do. Yo, Sefferson said, shout out from the Philippines, man. He's watching all the way from the Philippines?
Rant alert.
That's bullish, bro. That is bullish as shit. We got 6 minutes until the daily close, fellas. 6 minutes until the daily close.
The daily close.
All right, let's get off this. There we go. All right, Bitcoin's still just holding the lows. So it looks like we're going to close the weekly somewhere in this area, which is cool. And we got a fresh new week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited for this week. I'm excited for every single week, man. From now on, like, it's good to be excited about every single week. I think, once again, I think it's good to be excited about the market every week, even if, once again, it's kind of like this droopy market at the end of the day. But once again, I always like to say this, Bitcoin's up 100% this year. You go to any other market, they're jerking off to that. But because we have a week of sideways, it's the end of the world. You know what I mean? And I get caught up in that sometimes too. And I'm trying to be better at that and realize that, like, dude, it's okay to go sideways for a week. Like, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not really a big deal. Let's see. Brian said if we were at 100, if it wasn't for COVID, we would be at 100K by now. Moonboy take. Oh, hell yeah. No, we wouldn't be at 100K. We'd probably be exactly where we are now. You know what I mean? Like, because Bitcoin it seems to just be on a clock and it seems to just be doing its own thing. Like, despite the macro, despite whatever happens, it seems to just play out the cycle. And despite what's going on in the world, it just seems to always kind of play out the way it's supposed to play out. It's weird as shit. We'll probably never know why it truly happens. We can blame it on the halving. I don't think it's the halving. I think there's something else in play there. That's like kind of the excuse, but we'll never know the true reason of why, Bitcoin tends to do what it does every 4 years. It tends to just do the same thing basically over the course of time, which is basically from the highs, 52-week bear market, right? In the second year of the cycle, we tend to go up to the 618 retracement. In the third year of the cycle, we tend to get a pullback back to the 50 and then continue up and break the all-time highs. And in the fourth year of the cycle is parabolic up. And it's done that 3 times in a row. And so far in this cycle, You're exactly on schedule, right? You've had the 52-week to the day bear market. And in year 2, what have we had? We've had up only, right? Despite what the bears want to say, which, okay, whatever, bear market rally, it's been up only. You've had weeks of sideways, but it's really been up only. You know what I mean? Like, so despite what happens, it just tends to always kind of work out, right? Despite COVID, despite rate hikes, despite inflation being high, despite war going on in the world, it just slowly doing what it always does. And that's Bitcoin for you, you know? People will say it's the halving. I don't know if it's the halving. I feel like there's always something going on behind the scenes. Someone's making it do what it does. You know what I mean? Unless Satoshi was just like freaking genius and just somehow made it do whatever it wants to do every 4 years somehow. You know? Anderson said, I blame it on insider trading. Yeah. I guess we can blame it on insider trading. It probably is, man. Like, you know, there's definitely some big player who manipulates the price in Bitcoin, right? People think it's CZ and Coinbase and the big money. No, I actually think it's governments that actually do it behind the scenes. What better way to take money from retail and to pump up a speculative market, right? And then dump it. And know it's going to dump. And get ready your shorts, right? There's no better way. There's no better way. You know what I mean? Socks for Christmas from Grandma again. Dude, I love getting the socks. My mom gives me socks. My dad gives me socks. My grandma gives me socks. Everyone gives me socks for Christmas. There's nothing better than getting those Christmas socks, man. Like those fresh new socks you haven't worn yet. That you just got them. They're still fluffy. They still got that nice little fluff to them. Nothing better. Nothing better. Literally nothing better. Let's see. When horse face? Not today, man. The horse guy didn't do anything this weekend, man. Look at the market. Horse guy had nothing to FOMO over or nothing to panic sell. So horse guy's resting this weekend, man. Wayne said then you should treat your socks with more respect. They probably should. But I mean, you know, it's always nice to get some fresh socks, man. There's nothing more comfy than some fresh socks. Exactly, Digital Orgy. Digital Orgy. Why is that your name? I just noticed that's your name, man. Digital Orgy. I always saw your name Digital, but I don't think I've ever read the second word. And it's freaking orgy in there. That's funny, dude. Chewy said, I just donated a trash bag full of Christmas socks to Salvation Army. Shout out to Chewy, man. It's a good deed, man. You must have a lot of socks. I never want to get rid of my socks because I'm like, what? You guys ever lose your socks and you just wonder, where did my socks go? Like, where did my socks go, man? You know? I always wonder that. Like, you just lose like one sock out of a pair, and like all I did was put it in the laundry and take it out, and it's gone. No, I didn't do anything else with the damn sock. People say there's a tooth fairy. I think there's a sock fairy, to be honest. Me personally, I think there's a sock fairy, bro. Skillful said close was meh. Oh, this was, once again, I said it on Friday, I don't think anything happens this weekend, and literally this was one of the most boring weekends. Every weekend lately is boring. But what I do know about crypto is when the weekends are fun, that's how you know you're in the true fun phase. You're just not in that true fun phase yet, right? And that's what the weekends are miserable. like absolutely miserable, man. Like basically where you close on Friday is pretty much probably where you're going to be most likely on Sunday. That's how it's been for like months. Besides like a few weeks where you get massive moves in the weekends. But yeah, the weekly close, let's see. Weekly close, doesn't really tell you much, man. I mean, he closed at 30,180, right? Just kind of in the same little range, right? Up, indecision candle, kind of another indecision candle. Not the most like bearish candle, but like I said, not the most bullish candle either. You're kind of just like at the highs. So I need to see what happens this next week, right? If we get continuation to the downside next week, we want to close above 29K next week. Is really the big thing. Like, let's close above 29K, right? Don't be selling your Bitcoins to BlackRock. Mike said everyone took the week off. Yeah, last week. That's why. Hopefully all the big money comes out and comes back this week and starts playing in the crypto market, because it's not the 4th of July week anymore, you know? Mike said they stick to the top of the dryer if you go to the laundromat. They stick to the top of the dryer? Oh, shit. There we go. We gotta check that out, you know? CPI is Wednesday. Yeah, CPI is Wednesday. That's a catalyst for some movement for sure. For sure. Still looks like they stayed on vacation. Yeah. It's Monday. We'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow should be interesting. The rest of the markets are green. I mean, you got stock market futures, which are green slightly. I mean, they're pretty much flat. DXY is pretty much flat. Everything's pretty much flat going into the new week. Literally everything's flat. Literally everything, man. Most uneventful weekend in history of Bitcoin, I think. If you go to like the 15-minute chart, it's really just sideways, man. I mean, this was basically the close on Friday was right here. Look, I mean, you went up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You pretty much did nothing, you know? That's why I say, like, just play the range. Like, if you're trading, dude, all you've had to do in this range, rather than, like, freak out on every move, like, oh, my God, it's going to break out without me. It's going to break down without me. All you really had to do was long the lows and short the highs. That's really all you've had to do. And in between, like, you can take trades in between, but you're really just gambling. In like, in the middle of the range, you're just gambling. You don't know which way it's going to go, right? So, like, okay, if it comes back down here, I'm looking for a long again. If we come up here, I'm not looking to short Bitcoin because I think it's going to eventually push higher. But you could look for a short there. Or if you're bullish, you could look for a hedge short at the top of the range. Other than that, there ain't nothing to do. There ain't nothing to do for me. You know, like, we can look at this indicator, that indicator, you know, whoopee woo, shooky shoo, wooka woo. But the play has just been long the lows and short the highs. You know, sometimes it's that simple. You know what I mean? It's sometimes you just do the simple things. El Catrado said, okay, we're not going to read that. Like, you guys are crazy today, man. You know when the market's boring, when, like, no one's talking about crypto, everyone just talks about weird shit in the chat. You know what I mean? Like, everyone just talks about weird shit in the chat. Which is cool, man. I mean, you need those days where you just talk about weird shit, you know? You definitely need those days. But where the question is, what's Bitcoin gonna do now, right? We've done this in 2 cycles. We've sort of been here. It's like, you know, my take is like we're somewhere like kind of in here, and the question is like we're kind of like not following either now. We're kind of just like going sideways. We're like, in the other 2 cycles, we either should have saw a pullback by now, or we should have continued up by now. Like, but we're kind of just like continuing sideways. So it's not really helping us. So once again, we're just kind of waiting to see, are we going to play out like 2020 where we just blast off to the upside in here? Or are we going to play out like 2016 where we're just going to pull back to maybe 28.5 or something, you know? It's kind of what we're waiting for, you know? But it's cool. We can hang out. We can do our thing. And we can party in the meantime, you know? At least try to party. Let's see. 28 or 24, I don't care. 35 is the high, maybe a little higher, but overall bear market top. No one knows. Let's be real. You know what I mean? We could say, oh, you know, when people, 28 guys, 28. I remember hearing like 25K is as high as it goes. It ain't going any higher than that. And then it ain't going higher than 28K. It ain't going higher than 28K. And then it's not going higher than 30K. It ain't going higher than 30K, right? And I think now it's like, okay, it ain't getting past 32 or 35, and it's just like, okay, let's just kind of see how it plays out, you know? Let's just see how it kind of plays out. Let's see. Underwater gnomes from South Park. Underwater gnomes. TI and Doge. You can look at Doge real quick. Doge is, look at Doge. Let's look at the Doge, shall we? The Doge. Not as clean as SHIB. Not as clean as SHIB. Like I said, I'm not terribly bullish on the dog coins. I just think the dog coins are like so 2021. You know, like they're just so 2021. Especially Doge. It's like you basically needed it to go on Saturday Night Live to get it to all-time high. I said this last time. I just don't know how it goes back to all-time highs again. Well, we're getting a little bit of lag. There we go. I just don't know how it gets to 2021 highs again. You basically would need the same thing that happened last time and that much hype. I don't know. I just feel like there's always a new meme coin, right? So, like, my thing is, okay, look at the Doge chart, right? My thing with Doge is, okay, it's probably going to go up. It's going to go up with the rest of the market. I just don't know. I think Doge might be one of the ones that doesn't break all-time highs again. Just because, look at the price action, right? So 2021, you topped out in May of 2021, right? That was like the first peak that Bitcoin had, right? So Doge was there, and then Bitcoin was here, right? So that was Doge's high, but yet the rest of the market went higher, right? And we go back to Doge, and then this was the second peak on Bitcoin. Look, right here in November of 2021. Look at how weak Doge was on that second peak. And that's because just Doge was so 2021, right? Like no one gave a shit about Doge after that first peak, and it showed because it couldn't even pump on that second peak Bitcoin put in, right? Because why? Because SHIB stole the thunder from Doge. And I think that's sort of the problem with the dog coins. I still think they're going to go up because, let's be honest, everything goes up when crypto is in real fun stage. It's just, I think now you're going to start seeing the new meme coins. You're going to probably see Pepe steal some of the thunder. There's going to be another meme coin that comes out that steals Pepe's thunder. And it's always going to be like a rotation into the new meme coin, right? I think Doge was just so 2021. And it shows on the chart, right? You might get a pump up because Elon might, tweet about it or something. But as we saw back here in April, where Elon put Doge on freaking Twitter, Doge pumped like 20%. It couldn't even pump that much. And it was on Twitter with like 300 million users. You know what I mean? So I think that's the problem that Doge has, That's kind of the problem with Doge. And I think that's might be the problem with Shiba, even though Shiba's got a little bit more going for it than Doge does. But yeah. I think that's the problem with Doge, man. Oh Lord. Let's see. Doge ETC. Don't sleep on Sneck. I don't sneak. I don't sneak. I don't sleep on any crypto, man. They'll all do good at the end of the day, right? I mean, everyone's like, oh, this coin won't do good. They're all gonna go up. They always all go up. It's just a matter of which ones do the best. Incog said it's all over. It's over! It's over! No, short term we can get a pullback. Short term, I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm not going to be the guy who's going to sit here and try to guess if we're going to pump and dump on the short term. Like, I've seen people, like, I bring up YouTube sometimes, the guys who, like, just I'm so obsessed with the short term charts. And every day they're calling for a pump or dump. It's like, bro, just tell everyone you have no, like, it's okay not to know. Like, that's the thing. If you don't know in the short term, you don't always have to guess. You know what I mean? That's why lately, dude, I'm not even going to sit here and try to guess what Bitcoin's going to do in the short term. It's just in a range. It's okay not to know. You don't always have to be a genius, So for me, I have no idea. And that's why I'm looking at this both ways. I can see Bitcoin pulling all the way back to 28-ish, right? And I can also see the point where Bitcoin just sticks in the range and gets a pump. I have no clue. And honestly, I don't really care what Bitcoin does in the short term because I think we're at that point in the cycle where you shouldn't really care what it does in the short term. You know what I mean? You're going to get chopped up more trying to worry about what it's going to do in the short term than just sitting on your hands. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's it's the harsh reality, and that's what usually happens after the first year of the bear market. Is people like everyone like the problem is like everyone everyone new into crypto buys at the highs, right? And they're taught to be a hodler at the highs. But what happens is they buy at the wrong time. So they're a hodler at the wrong time. They end up holding through the bear market, right? And then they say, screw hodling, I'm going to become a trader. When at the bottom of the bear market, that's when you probably should become a hodler. You know, and then everyone's a trader. And then what happens is they get chopped up in that first year of the up move because prices like don't do anything. You just stay in ranges and you get chopped up and you end up losing more money than you make trying to trade the market. Right? When at that point, you should just be accumulating. And then what happens is you start going up, and then you start saying, I'm just going to become a hodler again. And at that point, it's too late again. You know what I mean? It's like a constant cycle. But yeah, it is what it is. I think it's the biggest thing is saying like, dude, I don't know what's going to happen in the short term. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I have no idea. I'm cool with either one. Shit. I am cool with either one. Anderson said, I'm getting notifications about coins going down. Yeah, Bitcoin's getting a little pullback right now. We'll see if it breaks the range, right? At the end of the day, if it comes back down to the bottom here, right? I mean, that's been the point where it's bounced, right? And every time it's come to the bottom, you know, it's the sort of saying has been, oh my God, it's going to break down and end up getting a bounce, you know? So we'll see. Maybe it does break down this time. Maybe it does bounce. Who knows? Let's see. Jordan, please check the DXY. The DXY. Let's see. So the DXY is... Yeah, DXY is at support. Right, so it's like the DXY range is getting tight, right? You got higher lows coming in, you got lower highs coming in. So within the next, I mean, it's kind of a long time here. It's like within the next month, we should see some type of resolution. It's just like the DXY is interesting right now. And I think the CPI this week is probably going to be something that kind of breaks this out one way or the other. And that's on Wednesday. So the CPI is going to come in probably in the low threes, right? I don't even know what the expectations are. I have to look that up, but that's probably going to be something that sort of either pushes the DXY up or down in here. But it's definitely at a critical point in the market right now where we're kind of deciding what we want to do in here, you know? Like, does the dollar want to push lower than these February lows, or does it want to push higher, right? Let's see. Bart dumps some. Bart dumps some. Oh. Man. My back is itchy as shit, man. Let's go, bro. Rudy just wants BTC to dump. I'm cool with either way, man. At the end of the day, right? Listen, I just tell you guys what I think. So far this year, we've done pretty well with the calls, right? And because really all you had to say is Bitcoin's going to continue up, and it's continued up the whole year, right? Altcoins, some of the ones we talked about have done pretty well recently. And my basic take, here's my basic take on the market, right? My basic take on the market is I think Bitcoin short term is going to do whatever it's going to do, but I think it's going higher overall. And then basically altcoins, I think, are at like this last stage of the low. They could come test the low again, like you see in the spring phase, but they're basically just going to chop at the lows, in my opinion, for a little bit before eventually getting out like Bitcoin did, right? So like this was like, I compare this to the FTX low for Bitcoin, and then you chop down there for a few months, and then you eventually saw Bitcoin get that rise up. And that's where I think altcoins are. Altcoins are here. Altcoins are, what the frick, man? Altcoins are here, right? And I think Bitcoin is here. Bitcoin's right here. Altcoins are right here. Altcoins are just behind Bitcoin, which is totally what's supposed to happen at this point. You know? Other than that, I don't think there's much else to do. You know what I mean? Let's see. EMA crossed bearish on the daily. So yeah, dump. Maybe. I mean, the levels to look for at the lows. We got the 200 EMA coming in at 29.2. That's a level to look at. It's the same levels we've been talking about for like a month. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same damn levels, right? It's so we got 28.5, which is an important level here, and I think the other one that we were looking at was it's basically this 200 EMA on the 4 hour, right? So 29.2, and then 28.5 is like all these highs over here on the daily. So all these March highs and April highs, and then also this previous high right here from May. So if we do see a dip, that's kind of the area that I think makes the most sense to dip to, right? Just because we never came back down and retested this high. So if we are going to see a dip, I think this is the area where we might see the dip, and then you might kind of do a little something like this, right? And eventually start to make your way up like that, and kind of bounce off this trend line, right? That we bounced off once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Maybe do something like this if you're going to see like the second option that we've been saying play out. So that's kind of option number 2 in there. Either way, it is what it is. All right, guys. I'm probably going to call it a stream. There really ain't too much going on. Like, if Bitcoin's going to get a dip in here, it's going to get a dip. Until it does, it's kind of just in a range, though. So I'm going to call it, because it is Sunday, and honestly, I think it's probably just going to end up bouncing in here. So I'll see you guys in the morning. I'll see the members in the morning, 8:30. I'll see everyone else at 7. Hopefully this is the week we can get some damn price action, man. I love it. Either way, I'm cool with altcoins staying a little bit lower, so there's more time to sort of buy some of these altcoins at the lows in here. I'm cool with it. And if Bitcoin wants to get a dip, I'm cool with buying some of these alts 5 to 10% lower. Bitcoin's going to get a dip in here too. Either way, Bitcoin's in a range. Let's get out of the range. There really ain't too much to say that's new until Bitcoin breaks out of this range, right? Bears will be loud at the low of the range. Bulls will be loud at the high of the range. But in reality, nothing's changed until Bitcoin has broken out of the damn range. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, catch you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Later. Remember, guys, the market makers left this wick here too. Don't forget about that wick. It's sitting there patiently to be taken. So don't forget about that wick. Anyways, catch you guys later. Peace. Oh, wrong one.